clear they're not going to be any good with Micah Parsons off the field. They might not be any good with him on the field. I predict Jameis Winston throws multiple interceptions in this game. Here's who is winning every single game of Week 9 of the NFL season. Hello, everybody. If you haven't met me before, I'm NFL Mike, an NFL content creator that creates NFL content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and twice on Sundays. And I'm back here on the channel again to give you my picks for every game of Week 9. As I just stated, I'm going to be going one by one, picking every single game all year long, challenging all of you to beat my overall record and beat me week to week. Again, this is a challenge. I'm challenging you to beat me. There's a link in the description where you can go and join the Mike's Pick'ems challenge for completely free. We'll be giving away a jersey to the winner every single week. Just make sure you tune in to next week's video so you can be here when I announce the winner. And you have to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that way you're reminded to check the video to see if you won after you submit your pick. And if you're here just to see if I pick your team to win this week, stay tuned because we're picking every single game starting with Thursday Night Football. The Houston Texans are going to New York to play the New York Jets. And where do I start? Both sides, there's some problems. On the Houston side of things, they just lost Stephon Diggs for the entirety of the season. And that's going to be tough for Houston, who's already dealing with a Nico Collins injury, who when he got injured was leading the NFL in receiving yards, then goes down. Now a couple weeks later, they lose Stephon Diggs to a torn ACL, done for the season as well. And then you flip the coin to the New York Jets side, they're in complete turmoil. They just lost to the New England Patriots in a must-win game. As must-win as it's gotten for the Jets this season, you lose to a team that bad. The Jets are in a bad situation because they just spent a lot of draft capital to get Aaron Rodgers. They just spent a lot of draft capital to get Devontae Adams. They just fired their coach. There's nowhere to go. There's no one else to blame, which is why I think even without Stephon Diggs, the Houston Texans are going to come into New York, take care of business, and leave with this W. Taking me to Sunday, where the Dallas Cowboys, another team that is mightily struggling, are going to Atlanta to play the Atlanta Falcons, a team that's actually playing pretty well. They're 5-3 this season. They're leading the NFC South division, and it's kind of a team that's turned out to be almost exactly as I expected it in the preseason. Just a well-rounded roster that may take a few weeks to click, but when it clicks, they're going to be a really good team, a playoff caliber team, especially in the NFC. And for the Dallas Cowboys, after suffering another loss to the San Francisco 49ers, falling to 3-4, they're a team that's just begging for this defense to get healthy. It's clear they're not going to be any good with Micah Parsons off the field. They might not be any good with him on the field, but their only hope is getting that man back out there and that he becomes the game wrecker that he can be for the Dallas Cowboys and basically saves their entire season, because they have a tough schedule down the stretch. They're going to need him out there for every single game. I'm not sure if he's even going to play in this one, but getting him back out there is key. Also getting Deron Bland out there is key for the Cowboys. But me personally, looking at their schedule, I think it's too late. And I think that the Atlanta Falcons send that message to Dallas as well, that it's too late, and get the win this week and improve to 6 wins. Hey, sorry for interrupting myself, but one quick reminder before you forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you can be here every single time I post. It's the free way you guys can support the channel. We're trying to build something special here very early on in the stages here. We only have 10,000 subscribers. We're trying to get 20,000 subscribers. The only way that's possible is if you guys support the channel by liking the video, subscribing, turn on notifications. Taking me to the next game, where the Denver Broncos are going to Baltimore to play the Baltimore Ravens. The Broncos have been a sneaky team this year, and the Baltimore Ravens have dropped some games they probably shouldn't have dropped. So I don't think that I'm locking this in like I would normally lock in a Broncos versus Ravens game as of the last couple of years especially, but I'm definitely going with the Baltimore Ravens to win this one over the Denver Broncos. The Miami Dolphins are going to Buffalo to play the Buffalo Bills. I think this is going to be a blowout win for the Bills again. They tend to have the Miami Dolphins number, whether it's for the division, whether it's early on in the year, the middle of the season like it is here. Tua in the game, Tua out of the game. Hasn't really mattered. The Bills have typically owned the Miami Dolphins. I expect that to continue this week as Tua tries to get back into his stride of the season here. The New Orleans Saints are going to Carolina to play the Panthers. This is a game that's almost impossible to pick, especially since Derek Carr's status is still up in the air. Even with Derek Carr out there, I don't have full faith in the Saints. I think they're on like a 6-game losing streak. It's ugly for New Orleans, but maybe the only team in the league that it's been uglier for is the Carolina Panthers. I mean, they're 1-7. They're putting Bryce Young back into the lineup now after benching him for Andy Dalton for no apparent reason. Andy Dalton didn't help the Panthers at all. I don't think they picked up a single win. Maybe they did. They got one win. Didn't they beat one team with Andy Dalton? Which team was it again? We won't talk about it, Raiders fans. But moral of the story is the Panthers are in a worse way than the Saints even. And I'll take the Saints veterans to somehow pull out a win here after how bad the Saints have been for the last month and a half, basically since week 2 of the season. Next, the Cincinnati Bengals are hosting the Las Vegas Raiders, and you guys know I'm not taking the Raiders to beat very many more teams the rest of the way. They are way worse than even I thought they would be as a Raiders hater, and they continue to get worse. So I'll take the Cincinnati Bengals in this one. Bengals, tough loss to the Eagles, man. The Bengals are in a situation where they almost need to win every single game. They can only lose 1 or 2 more games and expect to have any shot at making the playoffs in the AFC. They already almost have no shot at competing for their division. I expect to see that sense of urgency this week versus a Raiders team that is honestly terrible. So give me Cincinnati, and that might be my lock of the week right there. Haven't seen one that's more of a lock than that one. Well, maybe this one coming up. My Los Angeles Chargers going to Cleveland to play the Cleveland Browns, and I've seen a lot of stress in the Chargers community about this game. I have zero stress for this game. Jameis Winston, yes, he got away with a great stat sheet performance, let's say. And he does deserve the applause he's getting. I think he actually was a nominee for the Air Player of the Week in the NFL this week. They're just leaving out the context that he almost threw like 5 interceptions in that game. The Baltimore Ravens DBs just kept dropping it time after time again. Maybe Jameis Winston was putting butter on the ball before he was throwing it. You know, he dip the crab leg in the butter, dip the ball in the butter, throw that thing straight at the DB, and that's the new secret to avoid the 30-30 interception situation. I think that all comes crashing down on Jameis Winston this week. The Chargers got an ounce of tape on this guy as well, and like I said, if he's throwing it into harm's way, you're only going to get away with it for so long. I predict Jameis Winston throws multiple interceptions in this game, and the Chargers walk away with a comfortable victory on the road in Cleveland, a big one, to improve to 5-3, and they're rolling, getting hotter as a unit, as a team. The Washington Commanders are going to New York to play the Giants, and I think the Giants are probably thinking, if they haven't already, moving on from Daniel Jones completely. And we might see Tommy DeVito in this game, or we might see Drew Lock at some point in this game, because I think it's going to get ugly. I think the Commanders are going to smoke them, and we're going to find ourselves in a spot where the Giants are trying out different quarterbacks in there, probably thinking about the rest of their season as well. Which brings me to this next game here on the list. This one's interesting. New England Patriots, who looked great with their rookie quarterback in there, going to Tennessee to play the Titans, who looked terrible against the Detroit Lions, but, I mean, it's the Patriots. This team still isn't uber talented. This team still is a couple years away of building from really competing in the AFC. Not saying the Titans are any better. Now that they've traded DeAndre Hopkins, now that they've kind of packed it in on this season, I'm willing to pack it on Tennessee Titans as well. Give me the New England Patriots in this one to beat Tennessee and I guess start their winning streak here. Even though Drake May's not going to be in the game, it's going to probably be Jacoby Brissett because May suffered a boo-boo on his head. I think he has a concussion, so hopefully Drake May gets better and gets back out there the following week. The Chicago Bears going to Arizona, and this is another game that's really hard to predict, and it's borderline the game of the week, other than that Packers-Lions game that we got coming up to talk about. But the Chicago Bears had kind of a stinker against the Washington Commanders, still almost pulled out that win, and it all fell apart on that last play. Everyone's making fun of the Hail Mary, or the Fail Mary, that was the Chicago defense on that one. Got defenders waving at people in the stands while the ball's being thrown. He goes over there, swats the ball straight into the receiver's hands for the loss. The Bears should have one more win. I think that the Bears defense is the real deal. I mean, I don't think that they're going to be stopping the top offenses in the NFL, but I think they're definitely going to give the Arizona Cardinals some trouble, and I want to see Caleb Williams and this Bears offense light up the Arizona defense. Arizona's had one of the worst defenses in the league this year. Tua came in and had some success in his first game against them already last week. Devon A-Chain ran all over him last week. I think the Bears can get DeAndre Swift going, set up the play action, get this offense cooking, and I like their defense better than Arizona's defense. So give me Chicago on the road. Don't let me down 2 weeks in a row, man. I mean, I didn't pick the Bears to beat the Commanders, but I definitely was putting the Bears in my fantasy lineups because I thought it was going to be a high-scoring game. So let's go make this high-scoring game happen this week. Chicago, the Bears. Admittedly, I'm a little bit biased because my boy Keenan Allen is over there. Moving on, Jaguars in Philadelphia. The Jaguars are done, man. This is one of the teams that should be selling. This is one of the teams that should be offering up Travis Etienne for trade, maybe a defensive piece for trade. Let's try and get some picks so we can start working on this rebuild. I think Doug Pearson is going to be out of there. They're packing it in while the Eagles are ascending. Defense is getting better and better each week. Saquon Barkley is unstoppable behind this offensive line. Jalen Hurts is still an eyesore at times, and you worry sometimes when he's thrown into traffic. But for the most part, this Eagles team is well put together. A.J. Brown's back out there and balling. Devonta Smith is back out there. I'm rocking with Philly to win this one comfortably. I believe they have like an 8 or 9 point spread in this one by Vegas's odds as well. Bringing me to the game of the week that everyone's going to be watching, the Detroit Lions. Right now, maybe the best team in football. Going to play their division rival, the Green Bay Packers, who are trying to knock off Detroit. This is huge for the Lions. They can really extend the lead in this division, build the lead in this division, and feel comfortable the rest of the way. I think the Lions win this game against the Packers, especially Jordan Love banged up. I think he's going to be playing in this thing injured, or maybe even out of this game, which even makes it better for Detroit and increases Detroit's chances because now they just got to defend Malik Willis, who was 2-0. This is a good Packers team with a good rushing attack this year, but I think with Malik Willis in there, with Jordan Love in there, a little bit hobbled on the groin, I'm going with Detroit either way. As a matter of fact, I said it on another show. I am starting to feel like Detroit might win out. I think Detroit might end this season with 1 loss or 2 losses. That's how good this team's looking. And we're in a league right now where no one else looks like the Lions do or dominating like the Lions are. Not even the Kansas City Chiefs, who are undefeated, but they are not dominating teams like the Lions are. They struggled to get the Raiders out of there just this last week. So I think that Detroit's the best team in football right now, playing the best football right now. Moving on to, I believe, what is our... No, this is not our Sunday Night Football game. The Rams are going on the road to Seattle to play the Seattle Seahawks. This might be the Sunday Night Football game. I'm not sure. But I'm going with the Los Angeles Rams here. I feel like the Rams are going to be heating up at the right time in their season. I think they're going to string a couple wins together here behind the return of Cooper Kupp, the return of Puka Nacua. New life has been brought to Los Angeles. I think that they win their 2nd in a row after upsetting the Vikings here in Seattle with a little bit of another upset. I believe the Seahawks are probably favored by 2 points here in this one, being the home team. Seahawks haven't been terrible this year, but give me LA on the road. La. Bringing me to Indianapolis Colts. Going to Minnesota to play Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are on a losing streak right now, but the Colts are undecided at the quarterback position. They just benched Anthony Richardson, and a lot of people are excited to get Joe Flacco back out there. The Colts were a better offense with Joe Flacco out there. I think they'll look like a better offense with Joe Flacco out there this week, but this isn't the week to flip the switch from the mobile quarterback to the not mobile quarterback. The Vikings are notoriously antagonizing quarterbacks with blitzes. I know Joe Flacco's the veteran that can deal with these blitzes. I don't know if he has the O-line in front of him to deal with these blitzes. And I don't know if he has the speedsters. I mean, maybe this is going to be a Josh Downs game. Put him in your lineups because he's going to be going to Josh Downs over and over and over again. I don't know how well this Colts offense, switching quarterbacks, is going to handle the Brian Flores scheme. And I'm going to take the Vikings to win this game. I think that they get after Joe Flacco, force a few mistakes from a guy who's mostly a statue at this point in his career, enough to win this one. And of course, I trust this Vikings offense still. They haven't really shown too many cracks in the ship. They got screwed on a face mask call with a chance to go and win that game against the Detroit Lions. I believe it was on Thursday Night Football last week. So I still believe in this offense. Give me Minnesota to beat the incoming Indianapolis Colts, bringing me to Monday Night Football, where the undefeated Chiefs are back on prime time again for us all to see Baker Mayfield versus Patrick Mahomes. I think there's an iconic game from college where these two went at it, and it gets brought up every time they go at it again here in the pros. I think that this game will be a fun one. The Buccaneers still have a very good team, but with both those receivers down, I do think the Chiefs squeak another close win out. If the Buccaneers had Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, or one of the two, I may take the Bucs in an upset. Like I said, the Chiefs haven't been dominating everybody. The Bucs are a fiery team. Every team in the league brings their best football into Kansas City when they're playing the Chiefs. They know what they're getting into. They know they got to buckle those chin straps and they got to ball out, but I don't think it's going to be enough to take down the defending champs and end their undefeated season. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs on Monday Night Football to win, and another close one. I'm sure there'll be a controversial call or two, and it'll just be like every single Kansas City Chiefs primetime game that we've watched this year. All right, that's my picks for this week. Now go submit your picks. Don't forget, the link is in the description below. You guys can pick every game of Week 9. Try and beat me, and the winner will get a jersey of choice each week. It's completely free to join. Go and join the Mike's Pickems Challenge, the 5th annual Pickems Challenge. Also, if you guys want my free picks, you guys can go down below and you can sign up to the email that I send out weekly with my free NFL picks on all gambling apps, which I have promotions to all the gambling apps as well. You want some free promotion money? The link is in the description to all of that stuff as well. If you guys are trying to submit your picks, put some more on the line than the free jersey I'm putting on the line for the Mike's Pickems Challenge. Will I do better this week than I have all season? Because honestly, I'm having a terrible Pick'ems season this year. I guess sooner rather than later, the ball definitely won't lie. Shout out to the sponsor of today's video, BetUS. The link will be in the description to a 125% first deposit match up to $2,000 with BetUS right now. Thank you for tuning in to another NFL Mike video. Now it's time to go make more football friends or go and compete in the Mike's Pickems Challenge or against me in daily fantasy football challenges by joining my completely free NFL group chat, or head to fifthdown.shop and check out and see if we got your team's newest designs. Or now you can simply rep your favorite players without having to wear another team's gear. And then tag us in pictures of you wearing your Fifth Down merch for a shout out in the next episode of NFL Mike's Corner, and help us reach our goal of getting 1,000 NFL fans wearing Fifth Down. Or you can head to the next NFL Mike video by clicking it. It's on your screen. Go ahead.